Hello everyone, welcome to the Marvin Pictures, and this video is something big and I love so much in making it. You guys can already see how much I was waiting for the Killers of the Flower Moon trailer, and I already made a video explaining the true story behind the Osage murder conspiracy, and with the trailer released, I will be explaining the story timeline, and the reason why Osage family had to face such pain, and who is real antagonist and mind player in this story. I so much love this trailer, and hats off to the actors Robert De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio, to be portraying the roles exactly what we wanted in the film. I will be also explaining how a story goes on in the film, and with film being more than 3 hours, we can see a lot of story, and believe me guys, this is the story that we want exactly, a story with twist turning points, with emotional punches, and wise mentality of characters. This is something huge, this is what we called cinema, and this is what exactly we want, that we could stick to our seats and see something that we could relate it ourselves and everything, and believe ourselves that something we saw was one in a billion pearl, and we must endure it, and not something like a superhero stuff that we could relate for just like one time go. Because there are no awards to the characters building body, and just making a scene. And I am not offending any superhero films, I love Marvel and DC, God. They are just amazing, but we are looking here at something else that can be a purely and truly a gem called cinema. And with enough said, let's ride into the video. And I want you guys to watch this video on top right. I explained Osage murder conspiracy and whole story from beginning to end from exactly how it was in the book, and the film is also adapted from the book. And you guys can watch that video after this one. And this film coming after a long gap since The Irishman, and almost 4 years making a long gap for Martin Scorsese, and also this film being budget of $200 million, making highest one than all Scorsese films. There is a lot of confusion around that what actors are playing what roles. And do not worry, I will explain all of them clearly, and the reason behind it. There are so many random information flying around the internet, and I chose to take some time, and to give a real story out, as I love spending quality time in making the video on Osage murders, which was so worth it, and no misconceptions around it. Also there are a lot of speculations, and one time it was revealed that Leonardo DiCaprio is hardly in the film. Another time it was told that Leo was playing completely different character than what he was supposed to be. Then I did some digging before the trailer, and after reading many reports, it has been confirmed that Leonardo DiCaprio is indeed playing a main character, and also this film was about to be 4 hours long. But all the news outlets said, and quoting a Variety article said that, the film is going to be 3 hours and 26 minutes long. And it is misleading to rather say it is 4 hours, and to just leave it behind. There is one journalist who was adamant, and he was shown a film cut which was indeed a 4 hour long, with longest epilogue, and longest end credit scenes. There is great secrecy in roles played by the actors, as one time Leonardo was playing other character, and at one time he was main character, but with script for the film was always evolving. The script had to change so many times during filming, which caused them to reshoot the scenes at the beginning of the film. There were many scenes that changed and improvised, making the film longer, and with giving longer end credits. But at first, script was originally envisioned as a murder mystery following the deaths of rich Osage Indians in 1920s, with DiCaprio playing FBI agent Tom White, but whole structure of film shifting focus away from White, with now film focusing more on husband and wife story, where Leonardo will be Ernest Burkhart, whose uncle is William Hale played Robert De Niro, and Jesse Plemons will be playing Tom White, with Leo playing Ernest Burkhart, wife of Molly, played by Lily Gladstone, and where Ernest gets embroiled in the murder plot, without giving too much away. Now with this film is apparently moody character study centered on a husband and wife rather than focusing more on murder mystery following the FBI. In fact, I heard that concept on murder mystery is not focused but story revolves around two characters, Ernest and Molly. Also we would basically know who killer will in first 20 minutes, but the story goes on for too long by adding various elements that needed to fill. I know the story, and know it better. I thought if story goes on in a way that Leo being FBI, it would have been great, but with style of Martin Scorsese. Now film will be much better as Scorsese tries to explore dark characters, like Raging Bull and Taxi Driver. Each of his character-driven works can be summarized by themes, such as isolation in Taxi Driver, rage in Raging Bull, and greed in Killers. During the film's production, several changes were made, particularly to give the Osage Nation a stronger voice, shifting the focus from Ernest Burkhart and his immediate circle to the entire nation, and how the reign of terror affected the Osage tribe. My connection with the film is positive, even better than when I watched The Irishman. Unlike my initial experience with The Irishman, where I constantly compared it to the book and noticed differences, my familiarity with Killers is more limited, as I read the book some years ago and haven't revisited it since. Now, regarding the trailer, I won't go into a detailed breakdown of every frame, as I'm aware of the story and don't want to spoil it for others. However, I can share my overall thoughts on the teaser. It's an excellent trailer, in line with the high-quality trailers we've seen for recent Scorsese films like The Irishman, Silence, and The Wolf of Wall Street. While many trailers these days feel formulaic, this one stands out. It doesn't reveal too much, but still leaves a powerful impact. It represents true cinema, signaling a departure from the dominance of superhero movies. The trailer builds up anticipation with its gradually increasing pace, accompanied by eerie sounds of wolf howling and native chants. There's a sense that something is amiss. Notably, DiCaprio is the only one who speaks in the trailer, while other characters are depicted silently, creating a compelling effect. Ernest Burkhart narrates a story from a children's book about a wolf, possibly teaching his kids or reflecting on his own journey. The synchronization of dialogue with on-screen visuals, like mentioning the Great White Father while showing De Niro's William Hale, is well executed. The trailer concludes with a captivating shot of multiple people gazing, while DiCaprio asks, "Can you find the wolves in this picture?" It's a shot that resonates, especially for those familiar with the story and its underlying message. It evokes a similar feeling to a scene in Scorsese's Casino, where the old-time mobsters abruptly fall silent and stare. From the early shots of the trailer, a few things immediately catch my attention, such as the muted and desaturated colors. It addresses one of my personal gripes with modern movies that often lack vibrant hues and appear excessively dark, but it works well within this context. The second observation is that the film appears to have a high production value. While I can't say for sure if it's a $200 million production, it gives off a similar vibe to Gangs of New York or There Will Be Blood. The attention to detail in the sets and the accurate portrayal of the old towns, right down to the realistic dirt, is impressive. This level of craftsmanship will undoubtedly immerse viewers in the story, the settings, the characters, and the overall atmosphere. Another aspect that stands out is the significant emphasis on the culture and heritage of the Osage Nation, as we already know from interviews. It seems that DiCaprio reading a book about the Osage at the beginning of the trailer is a message from the filmmakers, signaling their commitment to taking the people and their plight seriously. This approach is brilliant because while a film about greedy killers being caught can be entertaining, infusing it with the culture of the Osage people and allowing us to deeply feel their experiences, both as individuals and as a nation who had so much taken away from them, can elevate it into an emotional masterpiece. The book sheds light on the oppression the Osage people faced, such as being forced to relocate and the government denying them access to their own oil wealth, appointing white guardians who abused their power. There's a particularly harrowing story of a woman begging her guardian for money to save her sick baby, only for the baby to die due to the lack of assistance. These are the kinds of hardships the Osage people endured, and it would have been easy to overlook them and focus solely on Ernest and Molly's story. However, it seems that the movie will genuinely give the Osage people's story the attention it deserves. Additionally, the trailer includes numerous shots of a significant court case featured in the story. The extent to which the film will dedicate screen time to this aspect remains uncertain, as movie adaptations often prioritize certain parts of the source material. Perhaps the inclusion of several shots featuring Brendan Fraser is meant to highlight his recent Oscar win, or maybe the court case genuinely holds great significance in the narrative, as it should. In the trailer, De Niro appears incredibly cool and menacing in the shots featuring him. I hope his role is substantial because, interestingly, William Hale, if I recall correctly, was in his 40s during the events depicted in the film. Even though De Niro doesn't exactly match Hale's age, the resemblance is remarkable, more so than DiCaprio's portrayal of Ernest Burkhart. Ultimately, the age discrepancy shouldn't detract from the performance. After all, Joe Pesci played a 20-year-old in his 40s in Goodfellas. Jesse Plemons also briefly appears in the trailer, with DiCaprio channeling his inner De Niro, scowling and grimacing throughout. I must admit, that I'm not the biggest DiCaprio fan for precisely this reason. I often feel that he brings the same facial expressions and emotions to nearly every movie. The scowl, the grimace, the screech, the constipated look. They're all there. While he has delivered magnificent performances in films like Blood Diamond, there are times when I get the impression that he's trying too hard to showcase his acting abilities, shouting, "Look at me. Look, everyone, I'm acting." I tend to appreciate him more when he loosens up, as seen in Django Unchained or The Wolf of Wall Street. Nevertheless, it's a good role for him, and has the potential to be one of the most complex characters in Scorsese's filmography. The trailer features several action sequences, although it's possible that they are edited to give. And what do you guys think of the trailer? Let me know in the comments. I will be happily reading them. Also give me thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It will help me a lot. Also follow me on Instagram. I will leave link in description. Until then, see you guys in next one.